What's going on, YouTube? Today, unfortunately for me, but fortunately for you guys, our prep guy called out. So I had to prep this Volkswagen Beetle behind us. I had a new panel, a repair panel, and a blend panel. So you guys will get to see how I prep every possible panel that there is to prep in a body shop. I'm gonna cut to a voiceover, show you guys that right now, and then I'll bring you back in the booth and we'll start laying some paint. All right, so here I'm just showing you guys what I'm using. We got 4, 6, and 800 grit, gray Scotch-Brite, red Scotch-Brite, and then the secret sauce, the Scuff stuff. And then I got some prep sol. I always wipe my panels down with prep sol before I start prep work. This way, if there's any dirt or anything, I get it off, or any wax, rather than massage it into the paint, into the pores of the paint. I take care of it beforehand because that can lead to some issues. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my 400, throw it on my block, and start knocking down this primer. The main thing I'm using the 400 grit for is to make sure everything is flat, remove all the guide coat, and get the surface ready for our sealer, because our sealer is designed to be applied on top of 400 grit scratches. If you're not going to use sealer, you would have to go up to at least 6, if not 800 grit, and then start laying your base coat. So the sealer does save time in that aspect. You see, I switched directions also. It's the best way to keep everything flat. I went diagonally one way, now I'm going diagonally another way. It's the same thing I do when I'm blending paint. And you can see how perfect they got that body line on this fender. I really want to see how these guys make their body lines. I have an idea how they do it, but I never had the time to really sit there and watch them. From what I did see, it seems like they grind the body lines first, like just the body line, and start pulling from there first. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, the body guys at this shop, they're great. They're amazing at what they do. They really are. Now I'm stepping it up to 600 grit. And you'll see I start at the outside of the primer and work my way in. The reason I do this is so I don't have any isolated deeper scratches further than I want. This is the same technique you would use even if you weren't going to seal your panel. You always want to widen the work area as you go up in grit. It's the same thing when you're wet sanding a car. If you're going to start with, say, 1500, you want to start small, and then as you move up, open up the work area. This way you don't leave behind any deeper scratches, and by the time you're done, everything is uniform. Once I have that done, I'll clean my panel off with prep sol again. Just make sure everything is uniform as far as my scratches go. I'm looking for any deeper isolated scratches I might have missed. Now I step it up to 800 and I use water. I just have water in here. Usually I have soap and water, but I just had water in here. And this is how you would prep any panel, basically. You would take 800 grit sandpaper. You would block the whole panel down. The reason you want to do this is just to remove a little bit of orange peel, since you're going to be putting more paint on there. Also, you don't want to have too high of a film build, because that's not good for paint. Too much paint is not good. So we want to remove a little bit before we put more on. And we also want to keep the panel nice and flat to avoid too much orange peel. The main thing is, when you're using this 800 grit and you're prepping a panel, to stay away from your edges. You don't want to blow through your edges, because painters really hate that. So if you're a prep guy and you're blowing through edges, if your painter hasn't told you, he doesn't really like you. So here, this is like just a blend panel here. So I'll block it down just a little bit. You don't really have to go crazy at all. You're just trying to take a little bit off the top. That's all. And you'll see I don't go over my edges when I'm doing this on this panel. And again, we'll clean that off. Make sure everything looks uniform. Everything looks good to me. So now I'll grab my scuff stuff. And you don't need a lot of this stuff either. A little bit on a Scotch-Brite goes a long way. So I wet my Scotch-Brite a little bit. And that's it. That's more than enough to do these two panels. I'll wet my panels again. That scuff stuff really just helps the scratches stay extremely uniform as you're scuffing. Because if you're just using a dry scuff pad, you're going to have some deeper scratches in some areas than you would prefer to have. You'll see when I'm all done how uniform this panel looks. Now we're putting a new hood on this car, so I'm also blending the other fender, but I didn't show you guys that because it's literally the same exact thing that I'm doing right here. On that panel, I just hit it with the 800 grit wet on the block with the block, and then I went over everything else with the Scotch-Brite and the scuff stuff. And this is where you want to make sure you get all your edges, because you're not going to blow through your edges with a Scotch-Brite, especially when you're using it wet. And you see I have the surrounding panels masked off with the yellow tape. That's just to be safe. And then you'll see here, I fold up my Scotch-Brite a little bit and I get in between those two panels. Now, after you use this scuff stuff, you need to rinse it off thoroughly with your Prepsol, because it does leave behind a film, and the paint does not like that film at all. So you have to make sure you don't let it dry and you get it cleaned up right away. And that's it. That's how your panel should look when you got it prepped properly. And now I know we're not going to have any issues with our metallics when we get in that booth. Now for our bumper, this is a primed bumper. So realistically, I could have just hit this with a scuff pad, but I always check over my plastic parts before I start scuffing them. You want to look for any damage, because very often you're going to find damage on them, and you want to find the damage now, not in the booth when you put sealer on or when you put your base on, because you can only do so much once the part's in the booth. And then the rest of the bumper, I just took my red Scotch-Brite dry. This part's gonna get sealed, so I don't have to use a gray Scotch-Brite. You could use a red Scotch-Brite on solid colors and you won't have an issue, but with metallics, you will have issues. I promise you that. So I'm just showing you here. You see how it's shiny there and it's dull here? That's what you want. Now onto our hood. This is a new panel also. I got 400 grit on the DA. The vacuum was not working on this machine, so that's why there's dust everywhere. I also have the soft interface pad on here. You want to DA all your new panels, all your metal panels or aluminum, whatever, anything that's E-coated, you want to DA with 400 grit, because some of them come with a really nasty texture on them. And if you don't level that texture out, it's going to transfer into your sealer, into your base, and ultimately into your clear. And here I'm just showing you guys wherever the DA didn't hit, I'm just going over with the red Scotch-Brite. So I'll hit all my edges. And you'll see towards the end of this clip, I found a dent on this panel that if I wasn't sanding with 400 grit, it would have been real easy to miss, because I wouldn't have felt it with my hand. And there's the dent. It's very small, so we took care of that real quick, threw some canned primer on it. All right, so while you guys were goofing off watching me prep this stuff, I went ahead and threw our sealer on everything. Now I'm gonna try to shoot all of this base without cutting anything out of the video. This way you guys could see that I'm gonna have no problems at all with my metallics laying where I scuffed with the scuff stuff. That is the absolute best way, in my experience, to prep your panels for paint or your blend panels, is with a gray Scotch-Brite and that gray cream that's called scuff stuff. If you use a red Scotch-Brite with that scuff stuff, you're gonna end up having some issues with your metallics. Now, in case you guys are wondering, the color I'm shooting right now is not the color of the car. I had some silver from another job left over, or actually it was silver from a couple of jobs left over that I just mixed together. This way, instead of mixing 24 or 25 ounces for this job, honestly, it probably would have been more because of the hood. I probably would have had to mix about 28 ounces for everything in here. Now I only had to mix 15. And I'm pretty sure 15 is gonna be enough, because most of this stuff is gonna get covered in one coat. So the repair on the hood came out beautiful, or at least it seems like it did. That's why it's so important to block everything, because you don't really want to find out that you have an issue with the panel once it's already in the booth. If you're a prep guy, or if you want to be a painter, the best way I think to do it is to start with prep. And if you could put a silver car in the booth and your painter doesn't have to do a damn thing, you're gonna make him so happy he's gonna want to teach you how to paint. Oh, that's what I was gonna say before. So my prep better be on point, because if it's not on point, I don't have any clear blender. So that might be a problem. All right, let me go ahead and switch guns real quick. I got my Iwata here with the actual color of the car, which we're gonna switch to now. All right, I might have to cut out like a second just so I can like get everything together. But the main reason why I'm not cutting is because I want to show you guys that I'm not doing anything fancy over here. By the way, I don't know what the hell this stuff was that was on the car. It was a bunch right here. I literally had to sand it with 400 to get it off, and this wasn't even coming off. So I just said, screw it, that's staying there. I swear, this paint looked way more silver in the freaking cup. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Now it's gold. But my actual color should cover this pretty easily. So on this coat now, all I'm really concerned with is covering up all that stuff I just laid down. Hopefully man, I'm not sure now. I was really expecting this color to be a lot closer. I swear it, in the mixing room, I swear it looked way closer than this. We might be all right. Oh no. My gun squirted. God damn it. I'm not gonna start blending out just yet, because I don't know if I'm gonna need another wet coat. I better handle this too. I find it strange that this color called for a G5 sealer. To me, this is a pretty dark color. I actually learned something new about the sealer and how it affects the color. And I'm not gonna share that with you guys in this video, but I will share it with you in another video. I'm actually gonna share it in the video where I show you guys the color that I'm gonna be painting my car, which is a project that we will be starting very soon. And I'm basically gonna make that like a series. So it'll be everything that you gotta do from beginning to end to paint your car. And I'm painting my door jambs, I'm painting my trunk jambs. The only jambs I'm not painting is my engine bay. I'm gonna get 2 new fenders for it because my wheels have been rubbing on my fender and it kind of bent the inside of my fender on both sides. So rather than sit there and do body work, I'm just gonna get new fenders, and I'm putting a camber kit on my car, and I'm not going crazy with the camber. I just want enough camber to not rub, and I'll probably roll the inside of my fender lip. Because if I'm buying new fenders, there's no way I'm putting those on the car until I know for sure that I have that rubbing issue sorted out. I remember the first time after I painted my car, when I heard my wheel rub, I got so pissed off. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. I literally just put it back on the road. And of course, I dented my fender like the second day after. I'm actually gonna have to go mix some more paint. I'm probably gonna go mix another 4 ounces, and then we'll start blending out. And then you guys will be able to see how perfect prepping with that gray Scotch Brite and that scuff stuff is. I mean, it's the best way to do it. Plus, you don't have to worry about blowing through your edges. Okay, since I already failed miserably at trying to record the base coat without cutting anything out, I'm gonna go ahead and just focus on the blend panels for you guys, the 2 fenders. This way you can see that we're not gonna have any issues back there. I'm gonna start blending out now. I gotta take care of this little crap back here. Gotta put some color up here too, because this weird freaking hood, I don't know, it's a weird hood, man. It's a really weird hood. It's like kind of a Porsche style hood where it kind of wraps into the fender. Okay, so now we'll see here. Hopefully the camera will pick it up. Oh, you know what I could do? I could turn the booth lights off and grab my lights and show you guys. So we got one more drop coat here. So I'm gonna try to apply that without cutting this. And then I will grab my booth light and I'll show you. Oh, I lost the booth light. I was going crazy today looking for it. I don't know where it is. I was using one of the body guys' spotlights. All right, so I may just have to wait till I clear this thing to show you guys, because I don't think the camera will really pick anything up here. I mean, you can kind of tell that our metallics are laying beautifully and that there's no scratches that are causing any weird issues with our metallics, which is a very common issue when you have bad prep work. As I mentioned in other videos, when you're prepping a job and it's a metallic color, if the prep is not perfect, the metallics sit inside those scratches and reflect differently than the metallics that are laying on top of the surface. And it creates a very, very, very ugly modeling look. This is a tough one to blend because, oh no, my cup is about to fall. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Saved it. Because the hood butts up to this thing right here, whatever you want to call it. It's like a piece between the fender and the door. So I need to put color here, and the hood also comes way back here, so I have to put color here. This is a very tricky area to do a blend. So here, let's dry this off in real time. And I'll do my best to show you guys that I don't have any issues back here, as you can see. I literally don't even have any clear blender to fix anything if I did have any issues back here. But I know it's gonna be hard to see without clear. So I'm gonna do my drop coat, my 2 drop coats on everything else. Yeah, I'm doing 2 drop coats because that first color was way off. And then I will pick you guys back up for the first coat of clear, and then I'll show you guys how everything came out and just verify that our prep for this metallic paint was on point. All right, we're all set for clear. But before we drop our first coat of clear on these fenders, I had something on my mind. I wanted to ask you guys, would you guys be interested in me live streaming one paint job either per week or bi-weekly, once every 2 weeks? Let me know in the comments below if that's something that would interest you guys. And when I say live stream, I mean raw, uncut, camera on my chest, start to finish. Now, let's lay this first coat of clear.
Also, let me know how you guys prep your metallic paint jobs as well. I'm curious if anybody else uses that scuff stuff. I mean, I love that stuff. I really love that stuff. I mean, look. There's no sign of anything at all. Let's see if our other side comes out just as beautiful, which it will, hopefully. Not a scratch in sight. All right, I'm gonna clear the rest of this stuff up and then throw my second coat on, and I'll show you guys how everything came out, including a repair on this hood.
All right, here's our finished product. You can see our repair on our hood is absolutely perfect. And a clear coat too. Same thing with our bumper, where we did that little repair. Can't tell anything. And last but not least, our fender. Just to show you guys, good prep equals good paint. Not a single sign of a single scratch anywhere. If you guys haven't used that scuff stuff with the gray Scotch Brite, you definitely should. Like I said, let me know what you use in the comments below. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, if you got any value out of it, or if you were entertained, if you could, drop a like, comment, maybe even subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and it helps out the channel a bunch. Anyway, guys, until the next time, peace.